What's going on, guys? It's Ketchup here once again, bringing you some more Ronin Takeda stuff, basically. A lot of people have been asking me on Twitter and on YouTube and stuff like that, what is it about Ronin Takeda now that makes him so powerful? I do strongly think Ronin Takeda is probably one of the more stronger characters in the game right now. You know, I don't want to go as far to say he could be top 5 material, but he's definitely very, very, very strong in this current version of the game. But there's a lot of stuff that obviously he could do pre-patch, before he was even buffed, that was possible. It's just more that the patch has kind of excelled that kind of playstyle. But we're going to kind of go one by one into what this character can do. Obviously I've already done an introduction to Ronin Takeda, which you guys have probably seen already, and you've already seen my Takeda patch change video, which goes into some of the new changes. But obviously I've been playing this character a little bit more since then. I really want to kind of shed some light on what is Ronin Takeda post-patch, what's he all about. So first of all, we're going to go into this pseudo block infinite that he actually has, because they've sped up his back 2. I'm not sure whether they've made this more plus on block now when it comes to, you know, going for this into the recall, but at the very least, because this is faster, it's much harder to interrupt certain attacks he has on block. So the block infinite will be a number of things. We've set him to auto block, so if you do back 2, 1, 2, 4 into blade cool, this is now more plus on block, I've been told. I'm not sure how true that is, but at the very least, the opponent can't press buttons out of this into this. They cannot press buttons there. If I do back 2, 1, and then 2, 4 together, while he's blocking, and then go into blade recall, and then start pressing forward 1, if they try and press buttons, they will get hit there. That is one of the sort of more guaranteed block strings he has access to. Another part of this will be when the blade's on the floor and he's blocking. The 2-4 into quick cool is also plus 10, I believe. It is plus 10. When you do this into blade, the 2-4 into blade, that's plus 4. And when it's on the ground, it's plus 10. So generally, when you do the forward 1, 2-4, or forward 1, 2, 2-4, when you cancel the very last hit into either blade cool, which is plus 4, or quick cool, which is plus 10. Which is a pretty big deal, and it goes into the block infinite we talked about. So basically the block infinite would be something like this. Oh, if I can get the timing right. And you kind of loop that. It's called a block infinite because if the opponent tries to press buttons, they will get hit by this all the time, which obviously means if the opponent's getting hit, if you're a good Ronin Takeda player, you're going to be watching for them getting hit. So if this is on the floor and he gets hit by this, you're going to be able to convert that. You wouldn't convert it into quick cool. If the opponent's getting hit by this, you would go, you know, you'd convert that into like this or something like that. You'd always be looking to see whether the string connects. If you see it connect, you then hit confirm into something that is not quick cool, and then when the opponent stands up, you can continue the quick cool pressure. So basically it's called a block infinite because if they try and press a button in this kind of situation, on block, they'll get hit, basically, by this kind of thing. So that's kind of why it's a block infinite. There are ways out, however. So if I set the opponent to reversal on and then go cyclone, meter burn spin. Right, so we're going to do the same thing and then try and go for what is guaranteed if he presses a button. He can reversal it. As you can see, I get hit by it before it comes out. This also applies to this into back 2. I also get reversaled. If I try and do it into itself, I'll get reversaled as well. So basically none of it is 100% guaranteed because the opponent can armor through. Kung Lao is obviously an example because meter burn spin is meter burn spin, but most characters that have fast armored reversals can interrupt this. It's not an amazing option though, for the sense that obviously if I read this, you know, I'm just gonna go into this, block, and then punish you. Obviously I'm not gonna walk into it as I did there, but you get the idea. So I can just block this and then go in for something else. So it is an option. It's not going to get you out 100% off the time because I can always just bait the reversal, making you scared to press buttons. The second you're scared to press buttons, I can start pressuring you once again. Bait, and then go into whatever, and then whatever I want to do. So it's not a foolproof option, but it is an option you can have. Some characters can also backdash, but I can't demonstrate this. Unfortunately, I can't demonstrate a lot of it with an AI opponent, unfortunately, but it'll have to do. So that's part of his pressure. It's much harder now to press buttons. Let's turn them off, reversal again, off. Oh, not random, off. There we go. So generally, like the way you guys have seen me explain it before, this is now just a lot more dangerous because he has a little bit more plus on these strings, and the sheer speeding up of some of these strings make it a lot more dangerous to deal with. So, you know, I'm going to be looking to see if you get hit. I'm going to hit confirm into a full combo. If he's blocking, I'm just going to continue this pressure going. I can always just cancel and then go in for a grab or something. You know, I don't necessarily need to constantly go into that block string all the time. I can also, you know, if I read something like, if I read you're going to try and jump here, I can go for blade, meter burn, callback. If you're trying to jump, it'll catch you. I'll get a full combo, etc., etc. So it's just the general Ronin pressure is now far scarier. But that's kind of his block strings. So you guys have seen me talk about this before. I don't want to go into too much detail as to how to set it up because I've done many videos on this before. But we're going to talk about his combo conversions as well now. So let's go block off. You've already heard me explain about how the 2-1 restands. The 2-1 restand also allows for a full combo now, because obviously they get knocked on the ground, but they're still vulnerable to an extra hit, which means that, you know, you can now do, instead of doing 4-4 uppercut, which was normally your max source of damage, you can now spend the bar and then do 2-1, you know, flurry this on reaction now, which has also changed, and then do something like that, which is a loop, which wasn't possible before. This gives him a lot of new B&Bs as well, new just go-to combos for punishing things. Because this has been sped up, it's a much more viable point-blank punisher, so it's actually really fast. Let's quickly check how fast it is. Yeah, 12 frames. So as far as punishing goes, this will punish a lot of things. Back 2, which obviously goes back 2-1 into a full combo. So this combo I'm about to do is only possible post-patch because of the restand, the 2-1, and the ability to meter burn on reaction now. So you can do back 2-1, blade, recall, down 1, 2-1, and then you meter burn this, run cancel, and then loop it again. So that's going to be 40% into a hard knockdown, into blade cool, into pressure. So let's go block mode auto just for the sake of Ronin being Ronin. So what's going on there is back 2-1 into blade cool. If you notice about where he's standing, this doesn't quite connect fully. It does when I do it outside of the combo, but if you notice, this will actually only connect twice. It only hits him 2 times, which means I can actually juggle a down 1 afterwards, which means I can do back 2-1, blade, recall, down 1 if I'm quick enough, and then I can juggle it. So basically we're just taking advantage of the fact that it doesn't quite launch him all the way, and obviously you can loop this multiple times if you want, and then, you know, spend 2 bars and get 50%. So a 2-bar 50% combo into hard knockdown, into blade cool. And like I said, it's because of the restand of the 2-1 and the meter burn, you know, fist flurry is what makes that new B&B possible. This also applies in the corner. If I go, let's go restart position on the right. Okay, so let's say, you know, one of the new conversions you can do as well is if this is on the floor, you can see this hit, quick cool, and then down 1, and then 2-1 it like this. Because of the restand again of the 2-1, it gives you more damage. So if this is if the blade's on the floor, normally when I saw this hit, I couldn't get loads of damage before. I could get some damage, but not loads. Because of the restand, I can get a lot of damage off them trying to press buttons here. So if they get caught when the blade's on the ground, you can do something like this. You know, so you can get much more damage than you could before. So 36% for 1 bar because he was pressing buttons. Obviously, catching him in a full combo there, doing damage, is going to make him scared to press buttons again. But you can do a lot of sort of like reset situations here, which also make the opponent scared to press buttons, but it also loops back into his block infinite, which we talked about earlier. So for example, if I catch him pressing buttons here, let's do down 1. Oops, if I can get the combo. Let's spend 2 bars here. And then going for a grab reset, you know? So you spent 2 bars on the damage, got the grab reset, blade still on the ground, which allows you to do more pressure. You can also do something like, you know, do the same combo. Let's put this on the ground. Oops. Doing it a little bit online timing. Oops. It's actually not particularly difficult, it's just I've been playing a lot of online. And then you can 2-1 blade and then go into your block pressure, which was the block infinite we talked about before. So you can now start looping this into itself. So the restand of the 2-1 also means that you can do damage to the opponent, restand them, and then start going into that pressure again. So obviously, you know, and then you do 2-1 blade and then go into your pressure once again, which is the whole sort of block pressure thing, which is now possible. And obviously because of the 2-1 restand, that is what allows Ronin Takeda to do that kind of thing. But that's, again, one of the applications. One of the applications you can do as well is, obviously, his meter burn, his regular projectile is, let's have a look, it is +9 on hit, which means you can also do the same kind of combo, but end your combo in 2-1 down forward 3. Obviously, it's more of a mid-screen thing, but obviously if you do 2-1 down 4-3, it causes a restand again, which leaves you +9. So, you know, another thing you can do is you can just go for a combo here. Let's try and get our B&B down, shall we? Let's try it. And then go for a restand, and then go in for more pressure, because you're +9. It's not fully guaranteed, because again, you've got to run cancel, but obviously the 2-1 restand into this, making it +9, is just another addition to your pressure. So long story short, you just want to make sure that everything leads back into Ronin pressure. So any hit you land in the corner, you just convert everything into the 2-1 restand, which then goes back into Ronin pressure. Cancel it, go in for a grab, go in for, you know, your block pressure. If you want to make a read on a reversal, you know, you've always got to be careful about that meter burn reversal. That's going to be a threat. But long story short, you just kind of need to make sure that everything you do will lead back into this pressure. 2-1 blade, and then start going for whatever you want to do. That kind of pressure we talked about earlier, you kind of loop it back into itself. And that's kind of Ronin, really. This is kind of post-patch Ronin. It's very dangerous. There is a lot less risk to what you can do now. A lot of things, you don't have to think about them as much. Some Ronin players are kind of upset about this, really. They kind of liked the... it sounds strange, but they kind of liked how hard you had to work beforehand. Whereas now, obviously, I think it's a lot easier to do the general Ronin game, because just everything's been sped up. You can now kind of do this with a lot less risk. But the reality is that's just the way Ronin is now. Very, very strong character, considering how, I think, lacking he was before. I'll use the word lacking, because it's not as bad. But that's it. I just wanted to sort of run over at least the stuff that I do with Ronin Takeda at the moment. It's obviously, you know, everyone kind of plays differently, but people have been asking me about the way I play Ronin, and this is kind of it for now. I don't really think I'm going to need to make any more Ronin tech videos, because there's really not much use. I kind of covered everything I wanted to cover in this video, so we'll try and move on to some other characters in terms of doing like sort of run-throughs and little tutorials and stuff like that. But that's it. Hopefully you guys like that. I'm Ketchup. Hope you enjoyed this video. We have a bunch of videos coming out. Apologies, it's taken a while for us to release one in a few days, but we've been pretty busy doing a lot of stuff, so we'll keep the uploads as frequently as possible. See you later, guys. Take care. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.